comment or answer it. We laughed about it because it is totally, it's a ridiculous statement. We come here to observe every participant. Just a day before, we were with President Mnangagwa, and we went through many things there. And before then, the first group we met was Mr. Mpofu, the Secretary General of ZANU-PF, with his entire team. And we exchanged ideas. So if you take a picture with me and Mr. Mpofu and you support CCC, then you create a story. He has been, he's favoring ZANU-PF. Then you don't understand the role of observers. If we don't go where he is, how will we observe? Observing means you are seeing. So we went to see, but we did not go with him. That was the naughtiness of that story. And that is why we did not answer it. Somebody decided to say, we went to see, we went with him. No, we didn't. We were at that polling station when Mr. Chamisa came. We made no contact with him. We didn't speak with him. We were observing from far. He left without any eye contact. And if that is wrong, then why are we here? Why do we come here and put on these jackets if we are not supposed to see what these people are doing? What if he had been beaten there, or he claims that they didn't allow him to vote? How do we know? How do we stand by that if we never observe? So I think that is, we felt, sorry for using this word, we felt it was a cheap article which might have had a reason behind it. That's really what we say. And let me be clear, this country is Zimbabwe. And I hope this doesn't get me into trouble again. This is where President Mugabe comes from. A man that really explained to us in the region what it means to be nationalistic. We don't do these elections, and we need to get that out of our minds. This thing going around that you are west or east. Some of us, and the SADC principles, we don't do these elections for the west or for the east. We do them for ourselves. And if we are not original in the manner we are doing these elections, we always point at each other, you are with the West. When they are voting in America, do they say we are on Africa's side or we are on Asia's side? They just vote on their side. And so I think let's get away from that and concentrate on what is our interest as Africa, as Africans, and as we vote. Let's not always say we are doing it for this one or for that one. Let's do it for ourselves. I thought it was important for me to clear that. I didn't want to talk about it, but you started it. That's why I have decided to answer it. No, sir. We were basically doing our job for which we were sent by our bosses from Botswana to make sure that we do the right thing. There's another question about the flyers. Yes. Yeah, we had... We saw the flyers. All we can say ourselves is that it's unfortunate. We've taken note of that, and we are anticipating or expecting, that Zimbabwe itself and the security wings must investigate and find out who is behind that, because I think that affects the electoral process. Some people pick it up, read it, and believe the message that was there, and they don't go and vote. And that is really interfering with the electoral process. So we are demanding that the security wings of Zimbabwe must investigate and find out who is responsible for that, and take them to task. And, if that in any way would have affected the election, I think that is too early to tell. I think let's just say that we have condemned that, and I think it's a desperate move, but whosoever did it. I think I'm done for the...
Since Miller Entertainment TV, remember guys to like, share, comment, and follow, and turn on the notification bell. Today is the 25th of August 2023. So guys, the SADC Electoral Observation Mission, Au-Comesa, and the Electoral Commission's Forum of SADC Observer Missions have collectively issued a joint statement stating that Zimbabwe's 2023 harmonized elections held on the 23rd and 24th August did not fully meet the requirements outlined in the Zimbabwean constitution. In a statement, the observer missions noted that the delimitation process was flawed and unconstitutionally executed. Zimbabwe Electoral Commission (ZEC) did not release voters' roll on time for candidate auditing, restrictive fee charged for the voters' roll, disruption of opposition citizens' coalition for change (CCC) rallies by police violating freedom of assembly, unconstitutionality of the patriotic bill which restricts freedom of speech, unconstitutional disqualification of presidential aspirant Sevia Kasukwere, restrictive nomination fees after being raised from $1,000 to $20,000 for presidential candidates, inadequate progress in achieving gender parity despite the 30% female quota, concerns regarding the independence of the judiciary and possible government influence, allegations of voter intimidation by a group called Forever Society Zimbabwe, which is FAZ, controversy surrounding postal voting, and allegations of coerced voting by police officers, bias of state-owned media against opposition parties and candidates contrary to impartiality requirements. The observer missions acknowledged that it is premature to pass judgment on the credibility of the elections as the electoral process is still ongoing, particularly since the announcement of the presidential results is pending. However, they did identify certain areas of the electoral process that could be improved. These recommendations include access to the voters' roll. The Zimbabwe Electoral Commission (ZEC) is advised to adhere to constitutional provisions regarding transparency and access to information by promptly and transparently providing the voters' roll as stipulated in the Electoral Act. Nomination fees. ZEC is encouraged to engage with the relevant stakeholders to revise nomination fees for candidates, taking into consideration the SADC region's context and Zimbabwe's economic realities in order to promote inclusivity and openness in political process. State-owned media coverage. Media regulatory authorities are urged to enforce measures that ensure impartiality in the coverage of political events by state-owned media outlets. Voting materials. ZEC is urged to enhance transparency in the procurement and delivery of voting materials, including ballot papers, by implementing a monitoring system that involves the participation and verification of electoral stakeholders. Clear timeframes should also be established in the Electoral Act for completing these processes. Women's participation. Concrete measures should be taken at the earliest opportunity in the next parliament to promote the equal participation of women as candidates in the electoral process. The observer missions acknowledge the peaceful and calm nature of the pre-election and voting phases during the 23rd to 24th August 2023 harmonized elections. However, they identified that certain aspects of the elections do not meet the requirements set by the Constitution of Zimbabwe, the Electoral Act, and the SADC principles and guidelines governing democratic elections 2021. The missions commended the people of Zimbabwe for maintaining a peaceful political environment throughout the pre-election period, and on voting day, they will release a final report after the validation and proclamation of the final results, which will be shared with the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission (ZEC) and all stakeholders. The long-term observers will continue post-election observations until the 1st of September 2023, and the CEAC will conduct a post-election review to assess the implementation of recommendations and provide necessary support. In case of electoral disputes, the missions urged all contestants to follow established legal procedures. They also appealed to political parties, the people of Zimbabwe, and all stakeholders to allow ZEC to announce the final results as mandated by law. So guys, that's the latest here. And so I do agree with the observer missions. I mean, if you follow us here, we talked a lot about delimitation report. I mean, dopatanga problems ese. That's why I said vamonzora wangwane vangawaona zvangwaona. I know many people, they don't like Monzora because of ABCD, but he's a good lawyer. At the end of the day, report. The reason why most people were disappointed on the election day vachiona mazita avo asimo muvoters roll. Dzimwe nguva ari kune other station, dzimwe nguva ari kune imwe area, dzimwe nguva nekune imwe area. It's because of the delimitation exercise. It wasn't done properly. Zvakataura vanhu neteam pachedu vakati some of the geographical coordinates akuratidza Madagascar andika yes Mozambique andika saka ZEC ipapo vakanyatsotadza kunyatsogadzira a very credible delimitation process. It was flawed, it was unconstitutional, and again vamonzora vakashaya support from other opposition political parties. Reason why is because he is Monzora, but he had a point about that. Nyaya voters roll zvakare ndio nyaya iri very crucial when it comes to nyaya dzema-elections, and ZEC didn't release voters roll on time for candidate auditing. Vifana vakarelease kwa voters roll pane nguva so that tisina ma-problems achange tichinawo pamberi apo kana ma-results akubuda. Reason why is because of nyaya ye-voters roll. Nyaya zvakare yemari, takaona ma-politicians akawanda on the 21st of June vachinetsekana nekureza mari dzaitawa neZEC. At the same time, many people failed to even contest by this election. The reason why is because of fees. Mari dzaitawa neZEC imari dzakawanda. Inyaya iri very serious. At the same time, nyaya vanhukadzi in politics, we talked about it here several times. Takati vanhukadzi hatikuwaona in politics, we don't know why. Chikona vanhukadzi vashoma in politics, varume ndo vakawanda state kupfuura vanhukadzi. It should be 50-50. We need to see more women, kuma ward councillors, kuma constituency MPs, and also even kuma presidential candidates. We need to see more women. This year, Amai Valero Elizabeth ndoega vangu ari munhukadzi chete out of 11-12 men. So equality hapana equality iripo. We need to see more vanamai mujuru variko kumusorosoro ikoko. We need to have a chance to vote for a woman as a Zimbabwean president. Tirambono madam president kuti vanombozvigona sei, because for the last 40 plus years vanhurume chete. I do agree with this collective issued joint statement panyaya dzema elections akaitwa on the 23rd and 24th, and the important issue also nyaya yema ballot papers nenyaya yema materials. Andika yeZEC vakadonhedza bhora ipapo, andika because vanhu vakamira on the 23rd vachimira kuda kuvhota as early as 7 o'clock, but vamwe vacho vakatadza even kuvhota on the 23rd vakazovhota on the 24th. ZEC needs to explain to us kuti chii chakanyatsoitika kuti zvizosvika that stage iyoyo. So guys, ngatitaure in the comment section. Remember to like, share, comment and follow nyaya zvakare yemedia and against the opposition political parties. We want to see ZBC vachibroadcasto ma-adverts, ma-campaign rallies ema-opposition political parties. We need more TV stations. We can't have ZBC TV for the last 40 plus years. Tine one TV station. And that TV station is always about ZANU-PF this, ZANU-PF that. Wakavhura usiku, ZANU-PF maskati, President Mnangagwa, Manheru, President Mnangagwa. Every time, we want to see every politician that would pa ZBC. Wakambozama zvavo, but it's not enough. We need to see more fair share of broadcasting on the national TV. We need to see more TV stations are still controlled by the state or by the government. Anyway guys, this is one of the main points. Zvakare nyaya a group called Forever Associated Zimbabwe FAZ, a group rainyora vanhu mazita pama-polling stations asati ambozvionezwa zvinhu zvakatoitika on the 23rd and 24th. What was the reason vainyora mazita evanhu pama-polling stations? Basa ravo nderei? Ndeve ZEC here? Ndeve chii vokunyora mazita evanhu kuti ndinavhura ma-ID number evanhu? What was the use of that process yekunyora mazita evanhu? This was a flawed election, man. Whatever result is gonna be counted or whatever result is gonna come out next week or whatsoever, I still think we need a rerun, because this election was not a fair election. It was not a credible. There are so many irregularities akatika about this election. So Monzora was all right, paakataura kati election inenge yakamira so angaona zviri kumberi. And so sometimes we need to put our feelings aside and let's talk facts. Vamunzura vanga vaona kudhara kuti election ike hapana zviri kuitika, vanga vazviona kudhara, but vakawanda vakati munzura anopenga, munzura atengwa neZANU-PF so that tiavote ma-elections. But at the end of the day tiri panguva yekutoti pacha zvedu tiri kupikisana kuti aiwa zvinhu izvezvo zvinhu zvisiri free and fair. So guys, this is Audio Thoughts with Prince on Prince Melody TV. Thank you for listening, thank you for watching. Remember to like, share, comment and follow. Bless up.